One critique of the film, out of the buttloads of bashing for this movie that had some really interesting points to it, was a review by a really talented YouTuber named Muller. And the one thing he pointed out with today's movie is that I'm actually agreeing with is why the hell franchises and sequels aren't interested in world building.
Thank you. Hold on for a second. Hello, YouTube fans. The best personality with the best hair. Wait, what? No, that's not it. What is it? Hello, I'm the TheSkullKlown. Remember, so you don't have to. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Hello, YouTube fans. This is the TheSkullKlown. There we go. There we go. Now I remember. Anyways, so shout out to BigJackFilms. I've been watching his videos lately, and to be honest, he's a really good YouTuber. To be honest, really good. I it's funny because sometimes it doesn't go to all YouTubers. Like for example, like I don't look at what pisses me off or the Myers fan, and I don't think of what I usually think of when it comes to like YouTubers. I think that when I watch some Deluxe Man videos, just Alex videos, or some other people's videos that really don't like give me a pet peeve a little bit of like it's right there in front of your face and you're not seeing it. And yet the whole fans can see it. Not all of us, but some of us. And I'm just like, hello. But moving on with that. So this right here, you see from the title. This it is true. Why Hollywood does not want a world build? You have this in video games, world building. People love that shit. If you don't build your world and then build your character, some people build the characters then the world. Other people build the world with the characters. Sometimes that's a lot better, in my opinion. All right. I mean, I usually go for the characters then the world because I like to. The reason I say that is because even though yes, I said the other part is better. Yes, it is in my opinion. But the reason I go for the other ladder is because when you draw the characters or you imagine what they look like, you can actually imagine what world they will actually be in. You know, like for example, you see how Final Fantasy VI is, right? And then you see a character from Final Fantasy One. They look similar, like they just look like they could be in the same universe, but when you really look at it, you'll be like, nah, they're totally different. They belong in different universes. Same thing if you look at probably not a good example, but let me give you another one: Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX. That's a perfect example. If you put Cloud and Zidane together, you would be like, those are not from the same game, from same franchises. That's different, but from the same game, nah. Even when you played Dissidia, if you played Dissidia, Final Fantasy, NT, or any of those Dissidia games on the PSP, which are better, if you play as Zidane and you fight Squall or even Warrior Light, they would stick out like a little bit of a sore thumb because it's a different art style from a different universe of Final Fantasy, for example. You know, that's what I love about world building. World building is not just you giving a story to the planet or the world itself, but it's giving you also an identity while you're painting it, basically, while you thinking of what it looks like. It's like, hey, there's mountains. Okay, what type of mountains are they? What color they are? Are they big? Are they small? Are they even mountains to begin with? You see? See, now we're getting more deeper that you can actually put it inside the lore of your story. Like these mountains are not mountains. Some of them are trees. Some of them are giants. And most people that watch my enlightenment videos will be like, I see what you did there. Yeah. You see what I did there? They'll be like, I see what you did there. Yeah, I think I like these, the new videos that you're about to think of. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about something like this too. For quite a while. That way I can get more of a audience, and then people would be like, I see what you're seeing. Instead of just giving you all a little bit, like the hardcore truth. But moving on. I'm still saying the hardcore truth without pissing you off. It's making you think, basically. So moving on. World building is amazing. again, going back to video games, if you don't, I'm playing Dragon Quest 11 right now, and if you don't have world building, your game fails. It fails. Look at some of the movies that we like and enjoy. Look at the Batman movies. To be honest, sometimes Gotham is the character, not Batman. You look at Gotham and you're like, this, if there was not, if when this series ends, you know that there's more story to be told. And there is. Because that's what Gotham shoots out. That's what Gotham does to me. And when I think of Gotham, and every time you, with the Batman stories and everything like that, but when you just think of the word Gotham and know about it just by Batman wise logic, history and everything like that, you look at the city itself and you be like, this thing is alive in itself. And when you turn off the TV or you shut off the movie, basically, to not watch the show or the movie, this thing is still alive. This thing is still kicking. Batman is still walking and freaking, helping Gotham and stuff. Helping the people of Gotham and shit. That's how you're supposed to do. And that's why a lot of people love these Batman films. They don't love these Batman films just because of the characters. No, it's the world. The world building is amazing. There's a reason why we love these characters. Because without the world, these characters won't be what it is. Without the world, these characters won't be what they are. And you will agree with me with that. Because what happened, how did Batman become Batman? His parents died. His parents died. By what? Some people might say that, it was a hit on the wings. Other people might say it's not. I love that we would never know. There's probably interpretations that we do find out, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, their origins is still canon to like, hey, no one doesn't know. We can say, yeah, that's this guy. And yes, it's probably canon to that it's this guy too. But overall, we still going to tell you, we don't know. Why? Because it's better that way. Why should we find out the guy that killed Bruce Wayne's parents? Because when Bruce Wayne, Batman, finds out who killed his parents, all of that drive basically is gone. All that drive, everything he's worked for is gone. That's why when I think they did had a Batman animated episode about it, I could be wrong. But if they did, I'm not saying that was a bad episode or anything like that, or that's a bad concept. It's just, to me, I know they did it in comic book. I know they did it in a comic book. But it's just, to me, if you make it canon, it doesn't ruin it. It just is like, what does Batman do next then? He needs to have another goal. Be like, oh damn, I'm definitely making sure that this doesn't happen to nobody, basically. Which is why he still has that in his mind anyways. That was more of the reasons why he became Batman anyways. Because of what happened in the world. You see? I could talk more deep about that shit too. But the fact of the matter is that this world building that Hollywood hates to do is stupid. World building is important. Look at the world building in the Alien series. Some people might not like those movies. But the world building, people, at least we got a fucking world building. At least you can think of a concept of like, some people want to say that, then, well, what's this planet that they went on? What's this planet what they went on? In my opinion, it doesn't fucking matter because it can go, it could have been the planet right next to them or light years away from them. Or it could have been another Earth planet that are going to other planets that are similar, that meet xenomorphs. Have you guys ever thought of those? No, because no one doesn't want to think outside of the box. People don't want to, as long as the movies don't tell them, they don't want to think about it. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Movies are interpreted in different ways, like art. If you don't see in another light, what's wrong with you? You don't have to hate it. I mean, you don't have to like it. But someone's going to see it from a different light that you'd be like, I never saw that before. How the fuck you see that and I don't? It's because we're outside of the box. Let's just say that there's a box inside that box, and you have to get out of the box to see that there's another box to get out of that box. Well, I hurt my head. But moving on. World building is important. I just watched Conan the Barbarian not so long ago. Tell me that movie would not be good if there was no world building. Tell me that right now. Tell me that right now. No character development. Tell me if that movie was not would still be good without all of that shit. Because that movie was fucking good, man. All right, I'll rewatch that shit and I'm like, a lot of people should give this movie a lot of credit than it deserves because holy shit, this is good. I mean, I watched this movie before, just in bits and pieces of it. I didn't saw like the whole thing of it. But still, another movie that does world building. Another movie that does world building is South Park. I don't have to go deep into that. But all these companies, I'm looking at Jumanji, and that has perfect world building. Nowadays, it's true. People don't, the people in Hollywood don't want, they're not trying to make a world that's alive. They don't care for that. They never, I don't know why they don't care for it. But they might say that, oh, the general audience don't like this and that. And I'm just like, that's the general audience. General audience. Meaning you're not gonna get everybody. Even when you make a movie, someone that you made that movie for is gonna look at your movie and say that it's shit. But you made it for that person. Hello? Ghostbusters 2016, anyone? That's a good example every time, man. It is, it's a good example. Some people might get tired of me mentioning it, but it's a perfect example. And that movie doesn't really have world building at all. What are you building in that movie? You're making fun of people in general. And not in a funny way. You doing it as like, yeah, you're terrible. So you deserve to be making fun of. And it's like, what? See, that type of world building is not gonna go with general audiences. They're gonna look at that and be like, can I get my money back? For example, there are some women that watch Ghostbusters 2016 and they're told their husbands, can we get our money back? And obviously they said, we can't. We wasted it. But some SJW Nazis don't want to hear that shit. And the reason I mention that is because some of those type of people that go for that have ruined movies. And they tried to push their agenda. Now it's dying off, but it's still a little bit there. Some people want to push more, saying that it's always there, but I'm like, no, it's dying off, guys. Just relax. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, what's up with world building? If you can't world build your movie or video game, you failed. You failed. Don't make a movie or a game because there's nothing else. How are the characters going to react? You know. So I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what your thoughts are.